We're ready, don't worry. Recording in 5, 4.
Coming up, we're joined in the studio by Nikolaus, who's going to teach us how animation is used in the real world. Hannah delves into how we make families look similar on this week's quick-fire character design, and later we'll show you how to make your very own flipbook at home. And all that and more on Animation Station. Welcome to Animation Station, your home for illustration, craft and creation. We've got a jam-packed show for you guys at home today. But first, we all love seeing our favourite characters come to life on screen. Whether we're tuning into a new episode of Teen Titans Go or rushing to the cinema to watch the latest Kung Fu Panda movie, we usually think of cartoons when we think of animation. But what if I told you that animation is being used all around us without us even realising? Our first guest is here to introduce you to the world of motion design, which uses animation outside of cartoons to tell a different sort of story. Let's take a look at some of his work. Thank you so much for coming, Nick. It's lovely to see you. This is incredible. So for our viewers at home who don't know, what actually is motion design?
Motion design is using the tools of animation and filmmaking with design thinking to solve all sorts of challenges.
Nice, that's so exciting. And kind of whereabouts is it normally used?
Well, maybe in a supermarket you might have seen displays that show adverts for products and a motion designer might animate those. But maybe in your favourite TV series, characters are in a mission control, say in a spaceship, and they're working on lots of screens. And a motion designer might design what you see on those monitors and what they're interacting with.
I see, that's so exciting. I'd never really noticed that before. What types of animation techniques are used in motion design? Do you have any firm favourites or ones that reoccur?
So you use all kinds of techniques. There are motion designers who use cut-out bits of paper. I use mainly digital techniques, so 3D, CGI, and also digital hand-drawn animation.
Nice. And has there been a moment in your life where you've kind of seen some of your work in the flesh and that's been really, really exciting, and something that you've been particularly proud of?
There was a funny moment a few years ago. I made some animation to go inside an app. And that app was then exhibited in a tech exhibit at the London Design Museum, and I went to see this, and I saw a member of the public just interacting with this app, and my animation was playing on the screen. So I went up behind them and I said, hey, I did that, and I was very proud of myself. They thought it was a bit weird, and I felt a bit embarrassed, but I was very proud of myself.
No, I love that. That must be really rewarding. And then very, very quickly, what advice would you give to any beginners who want to start off?
I think that motion design connects with people. So think about the kind of things you want to create that connect. Do you want to make people laugh? Do you want to teach them things? And make stuff on your own. And you will develop a very distinct voice, and that will be valuable to other people.
Oh, I completely agree. Thank you so much. That's really, really valuable knowledge. But yeah, again, so thank you so much for coming to chat to us, Nick. We'll be seeing you over in our crafty corner very soon to test your traditional animation skills. But first, let's go on and check in on Hannah and see what's lined up for today's quick-fire character design.
This week, we're talking families. Take an episode of Bluey. How do we know that these 4 characters are part of the same family? There are 3 things that we need to talk about. Firstly, shape. All 4 of them are made up of the same rounded off squares and rectangles, which looks very different to other characters, like the sausage dogs, who are clearly long, or the Pomeranians, who are much more circular. Secondly, colour. Bingo and Chili and Bandit and Bluey both have very similar colour palettes, orange and blue. But what you also might notice is that they are complementary colours on the colour wheel. This makes them both satisfying to look at, but also clearly shows they have a connection. And finally, patterns. Notice how Bluey and Chili have the same pattern spots on their back. or how Bandit and Bluey have the same markings around their mouth. These patterns draw even more connections between characters, all symbolising how they are related. So now you know. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Hannah. Now, while digital animation is what we usually see on our screens, this week in Crafty Corner, we're going to travel back in time to when animation was hand-drawn. That's right, today we're going to show you how to make your very own flipbook animation. Nick, have you ever done flipbook animations at home before?
Not for a very long time, so I'm excited to give it another go.
We're going to blast back, we're going to give it a go. Okay, perfect. So for those of you following along at home, what you're going to need are some Post-it notes or lots of card with a big clip or something if you haven't got that, and most importantly, something to draw with. But yes, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our Post-it notes and we're going to kind of find like a back page that we want to start on. So I'm going to take this one, for example. And then what we're going to do is, I think we'll animate a moving dot.
That's a great
We'll do
idea,
that.
yeah.
We'll start simple. And so we're going to draw a little dot on kind of like the bottom corner of our Post-it note. Yeah, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the next page and we're going to just like lay it on top and press down gently so that you can see the extra dot poking through, just like that. And this will help us position our new moving dot. So we'll draw another moving dot, but just slightly above it to create this effect of movement. And then we'll just keep on repeating this. We'll press it down, we'll move our dot a little further up or round and about, whatever you want to do. And yeah, we just keep on repeating.
And these real pens, do they have an undo button?
I'm afraid they don't have an undo button.
Oh no, what am I going to do about my mistakes?
This is the beauty of it. You can play around, you can make mistakes, you can, you know, there's lots of fun to be had when you're doing this kind of stuff at home. But yes, do you have a favourite project that you've worked on, Nick?
You know, there's been lots. There was a video game I worked on
Oh,
a
yeah?
few years ago, and that video game was all set on a computer.
Oh, exciting.
So I designed what the fake operating system and the fake software looked like and how it
Nice.
animated, and that was really fun to work on as part of the game.
That's so exciting, I love that. What about like a favourite cartoon or something?
I make my own cartoons
Do you?
for fun in my own
That's
time.
so cool.
And I do enjoy putting those out into the world and getting a reaction.
No, I love that. I feel like cartoons are such a fun way to kind of express
Absolutely.
so much different artistic power. Right, how's your dot coming along?
It's getting there. I forgot that it has to fall down as well, so let's bring it back
I'll
down
show
to the
you what
ground.
mine's looking like.
great.
So at the moment, we've just got, oh, if we can flip it properly, there we go. See, it's got this kind of movement effect, which is great. And there's so much fun and experimentation that you can have with it. You can do dots, you can do flowers growing, men waving, whatever you want to do. Now, unfortunately, that is all that we have time for on this week's episode. Thank you again very much, Nick, for joining us in the studio. And make sure that you tag us on Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag #AnimationStation so we can see all of your fantastic flipbook designs. Join us next week where we'll be giving a masterclass in voice acting by none other than Tara Strong. And we'll show you how to make a stop motion film using just a phone or tablet. Until then, we'll catch you on the flip side.